My name is Joseph Hoffman. I am currently a University of Dayton student, and I'm studying the cultural values and myths of the Navajo Dine culture. Now, I apologize. I've recently come down with a little bit of a bug and will try to pronunciate and speak as clearly as possible, so bear with me. In this podcast, I will be discussing the importance of Navajo myths and values, along with the monsters which are integral to their belief system. The Navajo are an American tribe with deep and extensive culture in southern continental United States. With their first encounter with colonial Americans in 1629, the Navajo have an extensive and secluded history within their own social hierarchy. This has created a beautiful culture unaffected by the industrialization of the world around them. Although their culture is still alive today, the colonization of the Americas has betrayed many of their cultural values. As Dawn E. Bastian states in her book, Handbook of the Native American Mythology, few North Americans have developed much awareness or appreciation of the rich and diverse mythic traditions and heritage of the hundreds of cultures of the native people who inhabited the continent before them. As I dive deeper into the nature of myths and monsters in Navajo culture, I want to first make it clear the purpose of these stories. Donnie Bastian also explains, a myth has two primary functions. The first is to provide an explanation of facts, whether natural or cultural. The second primary function is to justify, validate, or explain the existence of a social system and traditional rites and customs. This may not be a surprise to many, but their creation story and reasoning is not much different from the rest of the world. Personally, I grew up Catholic and know the creation story of my own culture as if it was tattooed on my own, and I found the Navajo creation story to be remarkably similar to my own. As Margaret Chevelle describes it in her book, The Pollen Path, in the beginning there was water everywhere, and darkness everywhere. 12 insect beings were the first to live in that world, and there were 4 monsters which lived in the 4 oceans. The story of creation is incredibly important to the mythology of Navajo culture, not because it is when they believe the world started, but rather one very important description: insect beings. Margaret Chevelle describes many stories in the culture, but what I began to notice is that nearly every single one has a protagonist or antagonist, which is both human and animal. Both a reference to their respect for the natural world and a notion towards the interconnected spirituality of animals and men. As I referenced previously, I am Catholic and have been raised to believe in spirituality. Navajo culture takes the idea of spirituality to new levels, with the belief that every single natural entity is bound with an individual yet interconnected spirit. This takes me to the topic which I came to speak about, the Skinwalker. The Skinwalker is a Navajo creature which is demented in spirit. Navajo religion has a priest of its own that mainly focuses on natural healing of spirits. A brave and respected profession with great pressure to uphold the community they serve. The Skinwalker is a healer who has turned their effort to provide for the Commonwealth into a darker side. It is what we would call a witch in our own culture. A healer who would not uphold the responsibility and instead chose to wreak havoc on their community in forms of harassment. This is where I ran into trouble in my research. The Navajo peoples deny explanation of the Skinwalker in fear of cultural appropriation. Rightfully so. I learned of this Skinwalker online in deprived and false explanations of the creature. The reliable information I was able to uncover only was able to give insight into their nature. In dealing with the spiritual plane, a Skinwalker is a human who can transform into animals. These animals are usually depicted as cunning and elusive, such as an owl or coyote. The beauty I have found in this myth is that there is a great amount of mystery to it. The fear the myth provokes is not because it is a person who can transform, but rather the mystery behind their motives, capabilities, and the impact they may have. It is not what is known which causes people fear. It is what is not. This goes for many of the myths in many cultures, and especially the Navajo. We have appropriated their beliefs, destroyed their land and people, neglected to understand their importance in America, even when they have continued to provide for a nation which has taken so much from them. It is right to let the mystery of their culture remain, for it is not ours to understand.